Today we're working on challenge number 1 in the returns for functions in intermediate Python. And what we're going to do is we're going to write a function named accumulator that takes an integer as its only parameter and it returns two objects. The first object is an integer, that's the accumulation of adding all positive numbers up to but not including the arguments applied. And the second thing is a list, which is the running total of that accumulator at each stage of the loop. Once we've written this, we're going to unpack the output of a specific call accumulator with the parameter of 10 into two variables, total and running total. And lastly, we are going to assign the output of accumulator 15 to the variable mytuple. The first thing that I'm going to do is write my function definition with my parameter n as is specified. The second thing that I need to do is instantiate some variables to accumulate into. In this case, the first is just going to represent a sum, and the second is going to be an empty list. Now I need to take care of my iteration. Since I'm iterating through numbers, I'm going to say for num in range object. Here it specifies all positive numbers, so I need to explicitly start at 1 instead of 0. And I want to go up to but not include n, so I will use n as my second parameter in the range object. The first thing is we need to accumulate into the sum, and we are simply going to plus equal to accumulate number into our sum variable. You'll notice I used an underscore after the sum simply to avoid using that keyword, that reserved keyword in Python, which is sum, and that's a sum function. The second thing that I need to do is to actually add on or append to my list of sums. And what I want to add on is the sum itself in each iteration of the loop. And then as the function says, I'm going to want to return two objects, the first being the sum and the second being the list of sums. So we've taken care of the first part. There's still a little bit more work that we need to do in the actual running of the function and assigning to the variables. So first, I want to assign the variable total and running total to my output of the accumulator function using 10 as my input parameter of n. And the last thing that it told me to do is to name a variable mytuple and instantiate my accumulator function with the parameter of 15. Now I've met all of the necessary requirements of the problem statement, and I've got an instance of learn over here. I've copied and pasted this code in ahead of time, and I can go ahead and run all of my tests, and we can see that I get the correct solution. This is really close to what's shown in the explanation here, but of course, as always, there is more than one way to come to the solution.